Okay, we're going to do a little bit of, let's see if I can get the camera set right. We're going to see if we can do a new screen, window screen. The basic parts that you'll need are going to be screen roller, two different sizes, this one here and this one here, depending on the size of the spline you have. You might want to use one or the other. And a utility knife or pocket knife with a sharp blade. Either one will do. The next thing we need is a bad screen. So as you can see, very wholly tore up. And you'll measure this and find out that we're about 27 or 32 inches. So we find a piece of screen that's one of those two dimensions. And I have a roll here that looks like it's going to be 36, so that'll work well. We can do it in this configuration so I don't throw away any more screen than I need to. First thing we want to do is to remove this line out of here, which is what holds it in. And I look for the first corner here that's got a, where it starts. And you kind of dig that out to get it started. A little screwdriver sometimes would be good for this too. But you can get a hold of it and you simply pull it out. Most of the time, this spline is good enough to just reuse. Once in a while, it'd be tore up and you have to go to the hardware store and buy some new. A couple different sizes that are used for that. I like to try to keep my spline about where it's going to end up being anyway. Start it in the same corners it was. After you get that out, of course, then your screen just comes right on out. And we get rid of that. And then we take our new screen and we simply set it on here, roll it out, and I kind of square it up a little bit, but I like to leave it hang over a little bit in all directions. Make sure this it's fairly square in the style there. And then the next thing we do is make sure I get the right one. This is not, this side is the one. So that our corners end up about where they were before. And we stick this one right in the corner. And then this one here is a fairly large screen, so we're going to try to use the larger roller. When you do this, you got to be a little bit careful. I like to start mine, get it rolled down in there, but you have to be careful on the inside edge as you roll it. Sometimes it'll cut the screen. I like to kind of pull the screen straight and hard so it stays in line. Then you can simply take your roller and kind of roll it in. Just like that. And then sometimes it goes in, sometimes it kind of pops back out. These little bars that go across it sometimes can be a little bit of a thing because they take up part of that channel. So after you pack that one on in, sometimes they'll end up with a little extra on the end. I don't know how well that camera's going to pick that up, but we'll cut that off later on too. And then the next one I come across this way, and I kind of just pull that just a little bit snug, make sure it's about square where it should be. And as long as you got that, you simply start tucking this one on in. I kind of work the corner ends a little bit of the toughest part of it, but that's not even that difficult. But you do want to make sure it's down into the corners or it'll pop back out on you. Okay. And like I say, you can take this and just kind of roll it on in. sometimes, like I say, if you want to, you can use the skinnier one if you have a problem poking it in there, but a lot of times that just kind of squeezes in beside it, so it don't work too well. And then the two sides of your roller, that one, this one's got a little concave, so a lot of times that's easier to get it lined up at first to get it in there. But that also has the sharper edge, so it can cut the screen, like I was saying before, and then you have to start over again. And this one started. And you don't want a lot of tension on this, but you do want a little bit. If you get too much, then you'll end up, this whole thing will kind of shift out of square. I normally just take it and kind of just lay it there, put my other corner there, get it kind of lined up, and take my roller and just roll it down in there. And come back through with the other end. Fairly tight, and then we come to this side and the final side. And usually, as long as that's somewhat laying there tight, when you go to finish rolling this in, it'll suck that right in from the other side anyways and tighten it right up for you. Like I say, because you don't want it real tight or you'll bow the screen. So you just kind of hold a little bit of pressure so it pulls it from within the screen, not from the out extra. Kind of work it on down. And pretty much every screen you do, you always end up, you take the spline out, but you come back in with it, it's going to be a little bit of spline left over. Then you can take your whichever knife you choose to use and just cut that off. And cut the other one so that they fit down in there. And roll that corner in. Okay, looks like we've got everything seated pretty well. Make it a little bit more right there over that hump where that center bar is. Okay, once you got that, then it's pretty simple. You kind of lay your knife in here on a little bit of an angle, get it right up to the metal, and you just kind of run it right along that upper edge. And finish off the outside here to get rid of your roll. That gets rid of one edge, nice and neat. And you just continue to do that. And voila, one screen, brand new, nice and tight, ready to go. That's how easy a screen is to do.